everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name's Jack and today I've got a Marvel set to review for you. This is Hulk vs. Red Hulk. The set is recommended for ages 7 to 14. It is set number 76078 and it has 375 pieces. Really, it should be called Hulk and She-Hulk versus Red Hulk and Red She-Hulk, but anyways, that's what's going on here. We've got two big figs of Hulk and Red Hulk and two minifigs of She-Hulk and Red She-Hulk. They each come with these sort of big, rugged vehicles. I see a lot of stud guns included, and I think the vehicles also have launch functions for the big figs if I'm not mistaken. All right, let's check out what's inside the box. Okay, so inside the box there are 4 bags. None of them seem that big. We've got an unlabeled bag of tires, and then of course the unlabeled bags with both of the big figs inside, and it includes 2 manuals, plus a comic book, plus some stickers, and we're starting. Okay, so the set is complete. It didn't take too long to build. There is a little bit of complexity on the inside of these vehicles, but I'm not very impressed with the, either of the vehicles. So let's check out the minifigs first, because they're pretty cool. First up here is Classic Hulk, and he's a bit different from the other Hulk big figs that we've gotten in the past. Namely, they changed his skin tone to that sort of lime green, which is not really conducive to any of the other iterations we've gotten. The original Hulks had a skin tone that was very close to what we got in the comics, or we got the Avengers Hulk from the cinematic universe. This guy also has very light purple pants, and I'd say the one thing about this guy that I like the most is the expression. He looks like the angriest Hulk that we've ever gotten. Other than that though, I really do think the colors just don't match up that well with anything we've seen before within the comic book or cinematic universe, and I suppose the only positive is that he does stand out amongst the collection, if indeed you are a Hulk collector. Now let's move on to She-Hulk. I think she's actually my favorite minifig, or any of the figs from the set. The detailing that makes up the torso on the front and back matches up just right with the suit that she has from the comics. Also, the printing on the legs is really what makes the fig feel very, very complete. The printing on the sides of the legs shows that she is wearing boots, and the expressions for She-Hulk are pretty good. I feel like they're kind of standard. I might have seen these expressions on other minifigs before, not entirely sure, but she also comes with what I believe is an exclusive dark green hairpiece. Very cool fig. And now we get a Red Hulk. This is the Red Hulk Big Fig. They changed his hairstyle, as you can see. We've gotten that on other Hulk figs before. And of course, the mold is exactly the same, or I should say exactly the same to the most recent Avengers Hulk fig, while our regular Hulk is the same mold that we got from the earlier versions of the Big Fig. Sorry if I didn't mention that before. Anyways, this body I think is a little bit cheaper to produce because the parts I think are a little bit more interchangeable with other Big Figs. Regardless, the quality looks about exactly the same. And once again, I think the expression here is the best feature of the Big Fig. Now here is Red She-Hulk. She is not nearly as detailed as regular She-Hulk, and that's mostly because Red She-Hulk just has black pants, so they didn't really need any detailing for the legs. The torso does, however, feel pretty much on par with the level of detailing, and the expressions on her face pretty much match what normal She-Hulk has as well. Her hair has a couple of little streaks in there. I think this is a similar hairpiece to what we have with Gamora, but of course the streaks are red now. And altogether, she feels like a very complete fig. So all four of these figs together are really, really awesome in a set. I know that Hulk is probably one of the most popular Marvel superheroes, and I know he was even before the Avengers came out or any of the cinematic universe started. This guy was always big. Pun intended? Anyways, it's great that we have a complete set of the figs and characters. Now let's move on to the vehicles. I suppose it doesn't matter which one we start off with first. Let's just take a look at Hulk's vehicle. I gotta say, it doesn't look very interesting or very good. The detailing is relatively minimum. We have some side paneling, a very minimal build that makes up the front bumper, and I think that is supposed to be an engine block. You can't even really tell. And then the back is super simple. We've got all those exposed studs on the top. It almost feels like it was left kind of incomplete. And of course, we have all of this exposed Technic that is making up this ram function. I'll get into that in a second, but here is the vehicle with She-Hulk in the driver's seat, and we've got regular Hulk standing in the back. We also have a stud gun that can shoot or lose all of your studs in the front there. And the vehicle rolls around or slides around on a smooth surface because we have these big wheels that are made of plastic. They track just fine on a carpeted surface, but if you've got a smooth light table like ours, you're gonna do a lot of drifting. All right, this is Red Hulk's vehicle. It looks a little bit different, but actually the baseline of the chassis and the Technic sort of jump or blast or smash function is pretty much the same. The beginning of this build is exactly the same as the beginning of the Hulk build, except in the front there are not two wheels, but just a single one, which is an actual treaded tire, which I like. It's a real rubber rubber wheel, and that tracks a little bit better on a smooth surface. I suppose the main bulk body in the center, I like the shape just a little bit more. She-Hulk drives from sort of a little pod or extended side capsule, and then instead of a single 6-shot stud cannon, we've got a few or 3 double stud shooting guns. The effect is pretty much the same. There is a slightly more posability to these weapons, and then the back is pretty much exactly identical to the other Hulk build, or the other Hulk vehicle build. Now I suppose it is time to get into what the main play function of the entire set is, and that is the sort of smash into each other, sort of ram head on and have the Hulks fly at each other in midair. It does work, but I'm sort of saying that with air quotes because you do have to sort of make sure that you're holding the vehicles as you smash them together. The fact is the tires just don't track that well, and the vehicles are not heavy enough to where if you were to just slide them at each other, that they would really have the proper amount of force to launch both of the big figs at each other, so they would smash. I suppose if you had two very rambunctious youngsters that really tried to smash them by kind of sliding them along the ground, you could get it to work, but it would be very hard to actually have the fronts of the vehicles both match up in the proper way. So really, the smash function only works if you're holding both vehicles by hand and smashing them in a very sort of controlled manner. I feel as if so much of the detailing for these vehicles was sacrificed in order to have a smash function, and the function itself doesn't really work. So unfortunately, these things don't look very good on display, and the play feature just doesn't work quite as well. I'm wondering that maybe they could have worked a little bit better if they were using rubber tires that would track a little bit better. They also would have added a little bit more weight to the vehicles, but I honestly don't know how much that would have helped in the long run. So we are looking at the set all together now, 375 pieces, and it sells for $60, so the price to part ratio is way out of whack, but understandably we have two big figs, so you can kind of see why the price is a little bit higher. I would have expected it to be, but even then it feels at least $10 too high, and it is kind of too bad because we get some great minifigs in here, and unfortunately this is a set that is a great example of wonderful minifigs and a terrible set. I would have taken something where one side had a much larger vehicle or a much larger structure that looked a lot better, or it could have been a significantly smaller set and much cheaper. Either way, the figs are great and the vehicles just really aren't, and those are my final words. All right, that is it for this review, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. Remember, if you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe, and I have left a link in the video description below if you want to buy the set. That's it again, so thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.